Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Chris from LLC. Now in this video, we're going to address some of the questions I've been asked about my oven online. In the last video where we were doing the chassis and the rolling cart stands, the oven was 4 foot wide, 8 foot tall, 6 foot deep. The oven has went through a little bit of a change. Notice the insulation hanging out all over the place. The oven is now, it is still 8 foot tall, it is 10 foot deep, and it is 4 foot wide. And I finally got the PID hooked up on it. So now we can come over here, model on, and it is powered by this Mr. Heater 170,000 BTU. But now we can come over here. I don't know why that screen rolls. It just must be the display. The camera really doesn't like it. It's on 119.7. There we go. So it's set for 410 degrees. So let's see. We started this at 7. Okay, it's 7:40 my time right now. So, but yeah, we covered it with. It's called DuraPlate. It's steel on two sides with a foam core, and it seems to work really well. I got the paddle latches put onto it. A little vent down here. That up a little bit. So it doesn't look too bad. That's a big change from the last time you guys seen the oven. So that's warming up. Like I said, let's turn it on at 7:40. It's been 2 minutes, roughly. It's 200 degrees. So yeah, there's been a lot of changes going on in here, shop-wise. We finally got the shelf down, and then probably one of the biggest ones is the wall. I mean, it's set up to put a garage door in there, but that's what we have for right now. We got one of the jig tables built. There's one more to come yet. So we're at 279, 280. So yeah, the shop is opening up quite nicely. And that takes us down to this end where we finally, this is still a work in progress, but this was the reason for making the oven longer. Now I did this car a few weeks ago after we got the oven lengthened, and this is this was Columbia Coatings neon green with their clear. It turned out pretty good. We did the axles, radius rods, the panhard bars in the back. I need to do a video for these. A modified spoiler. So yeah, this is everything's in the works. There's gonna be a wall up there, gonna make a parts room, and then this, at some point, this whole area here is going to be like a little storefront. So coming along, this end has been bugging me for a little bit. We'll hopefully get the walls insulated soon, get something done with the ceiling. There's the black diamond. This is I've done a few sets of these now, the cart stands. So let's come back down here. Let's see, where are we at? 745. So we're 372. So we're going on 5 minutes. It's gonna be like 7-8 minutes before it hits. Right now it shuts off at 410. And what I found was shutting off at 410, it'll climb to about 413, 414, stall out there for a little bit, and then it drops down to 403. When it hits 403, it kicks the jet heater back on. Then it gets a little bit of an initial blast of cold air, and it'll drop down to about 380, 390, 392. Then it takes it a minute and a half once the heater kicks on to recover back to 410 when it shuts off. So right now we just hit 387, 388, 90. We're almost there. And this is just the Inkbird PID. It's got the high voltage relay in there. And all we're doing is basically just switching an extension cord. And what I found was, I mean, so there we are, 402. So we're right at about 7 to 8 minutes to get to 410 degrees with 170,000 BTU heater on a 4-foot wide, 10-foot long, 8-foot tall oven. So we shut off at 8 minutes. And then all we gotta do is just kill that. Like I said, recovery time is about 1.5 minutes. So once it gets down to 403 degrees, it kicks back on, and then it drops to, with that initial blast from the heater, it drops to like 392, 393. And then from that point, about 1.5 minutes to get back to 410. I didn't use the rock wool, which at some point I think I'll go back and re-insulate this thing. But it's this unfaced I got from Menards. Like the back stuff, and it's not even that great. It's like an R13, and this back still needs finished. But then there's R13, because the oven itself, from like, well, 4 foot in, so from like right there back, that's like all R13 insulation. But this is also 20 gauge steel. The inside shell is all 20, and then when I went to do the extension, we couldn't get the 20, so we have 24 gauge on this end. So there's like R19 in this last 4 foot. But this DuraPlate stuff is pretty cool. It comes from a local trailer manufacturer, but it's steel, so it's magnetic, so you can put hooks on there. And you don't want to use it where there's a lot of heat, because it starts to melt just the slightest bit, but it was free. So, and this here is the metal we use to do the extension, the 24 gauge. But other than that, the oven itself works great. It's a little hot in here. So yeah, you can see where the 20 gauge steel is back here, and then where it switches to the 24. And then the door is 20 gauge. Yeah, there's a ratchet strap up there. We use that to pull this thing square when we were doing the door. Got a little high spot in the concrete that gets it. The thing works out great. And I think right now I'm sitting, you know, with the tank, and this one came from Tractor Supply. 100-pound tank. What we found on that tank, like I took and we filled it up last time completely full, so we had the 24, 25 gallons, whatever goes in that thing. We ran it, and I took it to fill it up today, and I put 18.1 gallons in it. And we had it charted out on the wall. We've been keeping track of the time on it, which we had 12 hours on that 18 gallons. Not bad. So, I mean, you're getting, if you ran it a little more, once it gets down to like the last 5 gallons or so down there, the heater just doesn't burn quite as hot as it does when it's full. No, for the money, like I said, all in now with the PID, the heater, the bottle, the steel studs, the 20 gauge, the 24 gauge, the DuraPlate on the outside. I mean, I can't complain about this thing. I think I'm right now maybe $1,500–1,600 into building this oven. And it works great. Like I said, it used to be over here. You can still kind of see the outline where it was when it was on the floor. That's when it was 4x6. Then we moved it over here and the door is facing this way. Then we decided to make it longer to get that sprint car in there. We added the 4 foot and moved it that way. So I really like where it's sitting now because it's just not as obstructive, I guess you would say, as where it's sitting. I mean, it sits inside the door frame, so it's out of the way. I mean, it's working great for what it is and the things I do. I just did this one earlier. It's one of my pit lifts. And this was prismatic neon yellow. And then I clear coated it with their clear vision. And that's all still using the RC1 from Royal Coats. Now I picked up a couple of his new hoppers. Not bad. It didn't cure all the problems, but it definitely works better than these. Now, how much better it works than them, I don't know. I still find I'm still having to shake the hopper a little bit, but I was hoping that would go away. For the price point of the gun, what it does and what you're paying for them, you can't complain. I mean, it does the job for the price you paid for it. And to this point, I have not been disappointed in that little gun. Now, the last thing we have to do here is I need to get some sort of ventilation system put into this darn booth. Other than that, if you have any questions on the oven, feel free to leave me a message. This is the first one I've ever built, so it's not perfect. It's definitely a lot better looking than what it looked like last time. It doesn't look so, yeah, I don't even know the right word to describe it. But now, I mean, hey, it's a $1,500 oven. So that's about all I can say. It is definitely getting the job done. And I was wanting to get a video of building it. It's a 3/8 top plate with 5/8 holes on 4-inch grid. I got another one to build. So when we go to build the second table, that is going to be a video because it is going with this table end for end. So I have 4 foot by 16 foot of jig table. And that is where Mr. Pierce Modified, that is where Mr. Pierce Modified is going to come in. So leave a comment down below because I was thinking about doing a whole series on reclipping this car. We got a Chevelle clip down there that is going to go on this car. So if that is something you guys would think is interesting, drop a comment down below and we'll see what everyone thinks. And we'll slate that for a series video of getting that car clipped. What we're going to be doing with it is myself and my buddy Chad are building this, and it's going to be a B mod for UMP. So yeah, that should be fun. So I mean, we'll go through the whole build process, like clipping the car, assembling it, putting a body on it, and then me and Chad taking it to the track. So yeah, and there's some more equipment coming. There's gonna be some more stuff down there. I got some parts that I wanna do a video for. All right. Yeah, I need to get so this is the other part. And I'm probably gonna do a video on these here shortly. Have a dealership with CSR Performance. So we got, and I'll do a video on all this stuff. Wheel covers, carb hats. They have a really neat shock packer kit. Body washers in just about every color, plus hood pin things. I mean, red, neon green, rust orange, Yeah. Then we got my little D'Souza plates. This thing's neat. It is a battery-powered helmet blower. It runs off a DeWalt style battery. Thanks for stopping by and checking out this video. If you haven't yet, smash that like button down below. Hit the bell icon so you know when I upload new content. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for supporting the channel. And I'll see you in the next video.